Welcome back to Sentai Gears, what we know so far, once again. We are well into the run of Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger, and more importantly, the Sentai Gear toy line. The further we get into this series, the closer we are to having a complete set of Sentai Gears. Today, on part 5 of this series, we will be taking a look at all of the gear information that we got during the month of June, which really wasn't much until the final week, but that week brought with it some fun new information, so let's dive right into it. This month saw a number of Sentai get used in the show for the first time, from 5-man to Sun Vulcan. A lot of the pre-Zyuranger teams got to be introduced in the show, either already having been released in the toy line or being seen for the first time in a non-evil format. When it comes to the Sentai Gear toy line, a pattern had started to be formed over the last few months, where March and April saw the release of both a Gashapon and a Candy Toy set, but starting in May, only one or the other would come out. This pattern is now going to be broken, however, as at the end of June we got the information that the 6th set of Gashapon Sentai Gears will be releasing in October of 2021. This set is going to include a number of the remaining pre-Zyuranger teams, and will include Jaka, Goggle 5, the first appearance ever of the Dynaman and Changeman Gears, 5-man, and finally Geki Ranger. A lot of this lineup has already been seen in the show recently, or in the case of Goggle 5, appeared a long time ago on screen, but is finally coming to the toy line. The final gear in the set, however, will of course be a Metallic Rare 2 Kaiser gear, completing the Metallic Rare set for the entire team through all 6 of the Gashapon sets. This new set now leaves only 6 gears left to be released in order to round out a set of regular type gears. These include Bioman, Gogo 5, Abba Ranger, Deca Ranger, Bokenger, and Ninja are all that is left to be released, with half of them we've seen some variation of them in the show, and the other half we haven't seen what they look like at all, although you could probably guess. A likely place that these 6 will be seen is in Candy Toy Set 4 this August, as that set has already been confirmed to have 6 gears in it that are all still unknown. These remaining 6 would fit in there perfectly. The contents of Candy Toy Set 4 won't be known until the end of this month, however, so stay tuned for part 6 where we can discuss what the set ends up having. The biggest piece of Sentai Gear information this month came in the form of the reveal for the ZenkaiJyu Gear, which is used to unlock the forms of Super Zenkaiser and Super 2 Kaiser. ZenkaiJyu is exactly what the toy listings back in April had described it to be, a special gear device that looks a lot like the Fane Gaia memory from Kamen Rider Double. The forms it unlocks also fit the description perfectly. Super Zenkaiser is based off of the very first 6 Ranger mecha in Sentai history, DragonCaesar from Kyoryu Sentai Zyuranger, or the iconic Dragon Zord from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This gives Zenkaiser essentially a Kikinoid battlesuit, which looks a lot like this Imaginext Power Rangers Dragon Zord armor figure that was released a couple of years back. To access Super Zenkaiser, the ZenkaiJyu Gear is placed into the gear Telener, with the door needing to be left open. This of course unlocks the Super Sound that we have discussed in previous parts to be inside of the Gear Telener toy already, though this only does half of the work, as the special new ZenkaiJyu Gear contains sounds of its own, which work alongside the Gear Telener to have the full effect of the transformation sound. 2 Kaiser will also be using this exact same gear in his Gear Telener to unlock his Super 2 Kaiser form, which is based off of Time Fire's Werq from Mirai Sentai Time Ranger. While the Gear Telener is known for its ability to read only a few gears from the toy line, it also has a super sound programmed into it specifically for this gear to use. Just like in the Gear Telener, the Telener does need to have the door remain open, and in my opinion, it looks better sticking out of this toy than it does on the top of the Gear Telener. The sounds that the ZenkaiJyu Gear has on its own are used to summon ZenkaiJyu, the mecha form of Super Zenkaiser when he combines with SD2 Kaiser to form a hybrid of DragonCaesar and the Werq. The ZenkaiJyu Gear is a really neat addition to the Sentai Gear toy line, and it's a great way to reference these popular 6 Ranger mecha. Dragon Ranger and Time Fire are also 2 of the 3 great powers that Gokai Silver's mecha Gojujin was based off of as well, which has led to some speculation that maybe StaCeaser could get an Operate Killer based form to complete the trio, and maybe that is why yet for another month there has been no sign of a release for the Gear Tojliner. ZenkaiJyu is also a fantastic homage to at least one aspect of all 4 of the Dino-based Sentai teams so far. As pointed out by @Tavion Jackson from the Legion of Boom on Twitter, in its Dino mode, the gear looks a lot like the Dino mode of the Gabatira de Carnival gun from KillerOh Gear. Obviously, Dragon Caesar's face, being a part of the toy, is a big Zyuranger reference in of itself, but the Zyuranger Z logo that is etched onto the back of the Dino buckler is also etched into the gear portion near the speaker of this toy. When flipping the legs up to put it into its changer mode, the Dragon Caesar faceplate it creates looks a lot like the style of faceplates seen on the changers from Abaranger. And finally, the whole spinning motion of the faceplate is very similar to the mechanics on the Rusol changer from Rusoldier, so they really packed a lot of neat Dino Sentai elements into this super gear. In a few weeks, the brand new movie Superhero Senki will be released in Japanese theaters. This is a big team-up film for Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, since this year they are celebrating their 50th and 45th anniversaries respectively. The 2 main crossovers for this movie will be the currently airing shows Kamen Rider Saber and, of course, Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger. Saber will be getting a brand new Wonder Ride book that gives him access to his Zenkaiser-based form, while the Zenkaigers will encounter these, the Rider Gears. Ever since Crane Joe posted all the sounds in the Gear Tojliner back in March, we knew that sounds existed for Kamen Rider Saber and just plain Kamen Rider in general, but now we finally get to see what should unlock these sounds. Present here are gears for the 3 most recent Rider series, Kamen Rider Saber, Kamen Rider 01, and Kamen Rider Geo. They also introduce a 4th type of gear color, green, so now we have gold for the basics, Super Reds, which is red, purple for StaCeaser's evil ones, and green for Kamen Rider. What's neat is that just like the Sentai gears, these Rider gears include the number of what series they are from their era of the franchise, with Geo being the 20th Heisei Rider series, so he has a 20, and 01 and Saber being the first ones in the current Reiwa era of Rider. Unlike the black background with gold chrome used in all of the main Sentai gears, these ones use the colors of the rider that they represent, which I think looks really nice for Geo and 01, but it kind of makes Sabers look like a Christmas gear. These 3 new special gears will be making their debut in the TV crossover special between the 2 shows that will be airing prior to the release of Superhero Senki, but it is currently unknown how or when these gears will be released in the toy line, though it does open up a whole can of worms for more Kamen Rider gears if Bandai wanted to go down that route. And with that, that's all June had to offer for the Sentai Gear toy line. Next time at the beginning of August with part 6, hopefully we will see how the Rider Gears will be released, as well as the final 6 Sentai to complete the whole set, maybe being a part of Candy Toy Set 4. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the ZenkaiJyu Gear and the idea of Kamen Riders coming to this toy line? Until next time, you can follow me on Twitter @LivingRangerKey or @LightningFigPR. Zenroku Zenkai.